What is up, guys? Soul Sports back again with another What's Next, and then today's What's Next, we're going to be discussing the Miami Heat. Now, with Dwayne Wade retiring, that just signals the end of the Big Three era, I guess you could say, of the Miami Heat, and what an era it was. Such a dominant team they were for 4 seasons. I mean, they were almost unbeatable, I guess you could say. But I mean, yeah. Now with Dwayne Wade retiring, Chris Bosh out of the league, and LeBron James in LA, you wonder what's next. You wonder, how do you move forward from this? So let's discuss it. Now, the Miami Heat are one of few teams who have been able to get a nice core while not having a top pick every year. I mean, if you think about the guys who they drafted, Josh Richardson was a second-round pick. Justice Winslow, I believe, was a ninth pick. Tyler Hero, who they just drafted, was a 13th overall pick, and I believe Bam Adebayo was a late lottery or just out of the lottery type pick. But, I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk about them. First I want to talk about is Josh Richardson, who I believe right now is probably their best player. Not considering guys like Goran Dragic and Hassan Whiteside. I'm talking like best player for the future. So he was a second round pick, and I believe I don't know why I want to say 2014. I don't think it was 2014, but I think it was 2016. I want to say. He's a great 3-and-D guy. He's on a very cheap contract relative to how he plays. I believe it's like a 4-year, 40-something mil type contract. So that's pretty good. I mean, yeah, he was such a steal. I mean, talk about a guy who can give you around 15 points per game on solid defense. I believe he was first team all defense the previous year, last season, not this past season. He's a great 3-point shooter, decent playmaker, decent rebounder. He's just an all-around great player. Moving on to Justice Winslow. Justice Winslow was a weird one for me because I don't know if you play him at the point guard position or at the small forward position, but either way, he's a great defensive guy. I think you probably want to play him at the 1 just because of his build and his size. He should be able to disrupt point guards and make it hard for them to score. I think that'd be best for him. He's a great playmaker, obviously, if he's playing the point guard position. Great rebounder. He's improved his shooting as his career went on. Maybe he's not at a knockdown type of rate, but, it's pretty decent for who he is and where he's come from. And, yeah, next up, Bam Adebayo. And Bam Adebayo is just an athletic freak. He is undersized as a center, but his athleticism more than makes up for it. He should be a great rebounder for this team and a solid defender, too. Hopefully he can, put it all together. But, I mean, when you have that type of athletic ability that he has, he should be able to have success in NBA. And then lastly, I just want to talk about Tyler Hero. Now, I don't know really too much about him. I believe he came from Kentucky. All I know is he's a great shooter. So, having shooting on any team is amazing. But moving on now, is this team ready to contend? I don't think so. I think their core, they don't have any, like, first option guys, maybe even second option guys on a championship team. But, I mean, this is a great core to start out with. You have basically positions 2 through 5 filled out. So, well, maybe not filled out, but you know what I mean. But I mean, yeah, they have a decent team. I like them. I like their youth. But looking forward though, Hassan Whiteside just picked up his $27 million player option. So there's that. They just have a lot of bad contracts that I believe some of them. Do some of them get renewed, get off next? I know at least Hassan's and Goran Dragic's contracts come off by the end of next season, but I'm not too sure about Dion Waiters and James Johnson. But let's talk about that real quickly. I understand the seasons that they got their extensions, they were really good, but Dion Waiters is not going to improve. He was already 26, 27 now. He had that injury and he's gained a lot of weight. Sources say that he is healthy now, so maybe he can come in and give you something in that, like, a 6-man role, because I don't really want him to start. Just having the backcourt of Goran Dragic and Dion Waiters isn't really good defensively. Maybe not even good offensively, as both guys need the ball in their hands to have success, so I'm not sure. But I mean, James Johnson, that contract was trash. I'm just gonna say, wasn't really a good contract. So yeah. Hassan Whiteside's contract was good at the time, but now the NBA has changed drastically, and he doesn't really fit this team anymore. Can't really. He isn't really playable. So yeah, that's a problem. And who's the last guy? Goran Dragic. I mean, Goran Dragic's contract was fair. He was an all-star. I don't know was he an all-star this past season? I think he was an all-star last season. But either way, he's still a serviceable, a great point guard. I mean, he's what, 33 now, so maybe those times have passed. But I mean, he still had a decent season for them this year. Maybe they can get him back on a small team-friendly deal. Would be good to see. But moving on, I mean, they still have the contract of like Kelly Olynyk. That contract was bad. I mean, Kelly Olynyk is a good stretch forward, but he doesn't really give you much after that. But I mean, yeah. So just looking into the future for this team, I would say try to tank next season, and get a great draft pick. Just considering that in 2021 they don't have their draft pick. That draft pick is with the Clippers, and it was part of that Tobias Harris deal. So there's that. It's unprotected too. So I mean, yeah. Just try your best to tank. Try to get one of these great point guards that are coming in the draft. I mean, there's guys like RJ Hampton and Cole Anthony, maybe even LaMelo Ball if he can turn into something. I don't know. Do I think LaMelo Ball would be great? I do think so. I mean, he's 6'8" with insane handling ability, insane playmaking ability, and he's super young. He can definitely be something great. But I mean, that's definitely the route you want to go. Not try to tank, but I mean, like try to get one of these top point guards. So yes. Okay, I'm going to say yes, try to tank. This is a tanking season for the Heat. I mean, it would just make sense. And then try to compete in 2021 when lots of money comes off the books and you don't have that pick, because it wouldn't make sense to, try to be bad then. So, yeah, just... I hate saying try to tank because that's never a valuable option for a team. So, yeah, I don't know. This team is in a good position, though. They're really in a good position, though. Just trying to think what else to talk about. I mean, free agency, they can't really do much. They don't have a lot of money. If they wanted to do something, they should have probably considered trading one of their bad contracts already. I think that ship has sailed. So, I mean, yeah, just groom these young guys, get a great point guard. And I think if you have a great point guard to lead your team, that'd be great. I'd say more in the draft than in free agency, just because you want to groom these guys. You want them to mesh together. A free agent point guard, I mean, maybe D'Angelo Russell if he signs like a 1-year type deal, but I doubt it. So, I mean, yeah, try to go after Cole Anthony, RJ Hampton, or LaMelo Ball. Those three would just bring your team to a next level, I believe. But I mean, yeah, that's really it. I don't know. There's really much to talk about for this team. I mean, they already have their, young core set in stone. They can't really do much in free agency because they don't have any money, and the draft. I mean, this team always fights for the playoffs, so maybe they won't try to tank. You never know. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this Miami Heat. Like I said, I mean, I think this team has a bright future. They're very underrated. They, like, when speaking of, like, young cores type, when I'm talking about underrated there, they have an underrated young core. When people think about the teams that'll be great in maybe 3 or 4 seasons or 5 seasons, you think obvious teams like the Hawks, the Nuggets, the Pelicans, maybe even the Grizzlies. Teams bypass teams like the Heat and stuff. But I think they'd be very great. Defensively, if you think about it, that team is just going to be great for the future. Offensively, I'm not too sure. But I mean, they get a point guard, they should be great. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy. So Sports, and I'm out. Peace.